I'd like to call this meeting to order, and please ask that everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tracy.
Mark DePace,
Here.
Amanda Grubler,
Here.
Kirsten Gustafson,
Here.
Willette Jones,
Here.
Calvin Lewis,
Here.
Matthew Macra,
Here.
Lakia Walker.
Here. Thank you. Anyone have any questions on the agenda? I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, student representative report.
Hi, Thomas Rabinski. I have quite a few things to mention today. I'll start first with things that have happened since the last meeting. So I think it was 2 days ago on Sunday, Sunday. Our varsity club and Hawks Against Cancer ran a walkathon for breast cancer awareness. And yesterday, thanks to a donation by the owner of Meadow Greens Golf Course, juniors and seniors were able to go on a golfing field trip and go over there and play 9 holes, which was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Coming up soon, tomorrow, sophomores are going to Bard College for a college tour. This also opens up their the ability to do the Bard Early College program that they offer for Hudson Valley students that Hudson has a few students in. And then on November 1st, there's a performance at Hudson Hall that all students are able to go attend. It's about Frederick Douglass, and yeah. We also have the Model UN conference is on November 3rd. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've been approved for funding and we're good to go, so that's nice. And on November 7th, which was a Thursday, is Powder Puff, which is basically a team comprised of junior girls playing against a team of senior girls in a match of football, and the boys cheerlead, so a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's that. Oh yeah, also, SAT scores came out on October 18th. Some students want me to mention that. And also, kind of to segue, I've talked with a lot of my classmates, and specifically today I talked to my executive council in student council. And well, there's kind of been a little bit of, I'll say, more focus on underachieving students in the Hudson City School District, rightly so. But things like the past SAT tutoring that the school has offered, and other opportunities that I've heard of, like, for example, AP classes being up for debate, even being in the school, kind of gives higher achieving students a feeling of being neglected, almost. And I think this is definitely a recent thing, just since past COVID, I feel it. And yeah, I just like to kind of bring to the board, in the name of, I remember the DEI coordinator talking at the last meeting about wanting to provide opportunities and more chances to students who are looking to be at a highly achieving path, and especially now being a senior, trying to apply to highly selective colleges. I see where our district lacks and sees where, for students who want to apply to selective colleges and want to, challenge themselves in the Hudson City School District, it can be hard sometimes to get the resources that they need and have all the chances to, meet up with other students, across the state, across the country. So, thank you.
Understand. Thank you for the perspective.
Okay, presentation. Human resource. Consultant.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to discuss the findings and recommendations of the HR
Can you just pause for 1 second? I don't think your mic is working, and I want to make sure people can hear.
Speaking to the mic.
It's working, you just have to speak closer to it.
Yes, this. They just said she got to talk closer.
I provided you with a
Yeah.
detailed summary of the audit, described the current status of the topics it covered. I hope you all get an opportunity to review it. In conducting this audit, there were a few things that immediately stood out to me. One is that your HR department is currently very fragmented, with HR responsibilities spread amongst numerous departments and individuals. Therefore, there is no one person who has a full understanding of the duties and responsibilities of this department. This also jeopardizes the confidentiality that is typically upheld in your HR department. The lack of processes in your HR department is also an issue. Every function in human resources has a process which, when followed, creates order and efficiency. These processes must be established and adhered to run an effective HR department. And I just want to let you know this is not unusual in the absence of an HR director. And I do want to congratulate you on your recent hire of Ms. Brooks. I believe her foundation as a building leader gives her the background to draw on to be a successful HR director. I've been working with her and believe she will do an excellent job. Ms. Brooks and her staff will need everyone's patience as they unravel a number of issues and develop the processes necessary to run an efficient and effective HR department. It will take time to complete these tasks. As you know, I covered a number of topics in the HR audit. I explained the HR information systems, required onboarding forms such as I-9 and oath of allegiance, fingerprinting, seniority lists, and preferred eligible lists. Tonight, I would like to just summarize the critical areas that need immediate attention. First of all, your personnel consent agenda. Everyone is familiar with the personnel consent agenda. This is where we make all of our hires, we appoint people to tenures, seniority. All of our personnel actions take place on this document. It is a very important document for human resources. Every appointment has to be in compliance with education law, civil service law, and collective bargaining agreements. Accuracy is of the utmost importance. There are some compliance issues that must be addressed. APPR language must be included as required by regulations. Tenure areas must be in compliance with Part 30 of the Commissioner's regulations. Tenure area, certification status, and probationary appointment start and end dates need to be clearly stated. I provided an example of the format of the personnel consent agenda as well as a Part 30 tenure areas for reference. Another area that needs attention is certification and licensing. When a certificated or licensed employee is hired, the certification or license is verified, but there has been no follow-up. Oftentimes, a teacher may have an initial certification, or they can have a provisional certification, which does expire. Someone needs to oversee that process to make sure when the certificates expire, the employee is notified, and HR needs to support them in that process and help them to get their certification. Coaching certification. There is presently no oversight of coaching certification, which is a great liability to the district. I know in the era of teacher shortages that we're in now, we sometimes hire an uncertified teacher, but it's important how we appoint them. We must appoint them as a term or temporary appointment to be in compliance with education law. An uncertified teacher cannot earn seniority as they are not qualified to do the job until they are certified. Your EEOC Title VI. This prohibits job discrimination with a variety of laws, including the American with Disabilities Act, Age Discrimination Employment, and Equal Pay Act. The district is in compliance with compliance posters throughout the district. You do have a board policy and regulations posted on the district website. There are notices on the job postings. The only thing you're lacking is a Title VI compliance officer. I noticed at the reorganizational meeting one was not appointed. That would be Ms. Brooks' responsibility. It will be her responsibility to become familiar with these different discrimination laws, and she should be appointed as a Title VI compliance officer. Hiring process is another important area. When I asked about the hiring process in the district, I was given a guideline. It's very well documented. But then when I talked to a few people, I found out it's not followed. It's not consistently followed. There's been a breakdown in the process. Ms. Brooks is currently reviewing the hiring process. Once it is finalized with the superintendent, she will share it with all administrators and ensure it is followed consistently. This will protect the integrity of the process, ensure that all positions posted have been approved and budgeted for, and that all candidates are treated equally. Onboarding and new employee orientation. I've talked to a few people that were hired recently, and they said they did not feel welcome to the district. The process is very disjointed. They're onboarded through Schoolfront, which is a computer process. You fill all the forms out and get sent. So there's been no sense of feeling welcome to the district. The district must develop a better onboarding process to ensure that all new employees are fully informed of the benefits offered to them, and also fully informed of their job expectations and where they can obtain the information they need to perform their job successfully. Another suggestion that I have, and that I've used in other districts, is the non-instructional employees never get the welcome that the teachers get. There's always a new teacher orientation in the summer, but districts typically don't hold something for the non-instructional employees. And I think that's very important to make everyone feel welcome. The tenure review process at the present time, the superintendent's office is manually tracking probationary appointments and overseeing the tenure process. I recommend that the HR department take this responsibility over, utilizing a digital system. The director will track all non-tenured teachers, administrators, and teaching assistants, and notify all administrators in the fall of each year the date in which their probationary period ends. The HR director will provide the tenure recommendation documents and work in collaboration with the superintendent and executive director of teaching and learning in the oversight of this process. Employee evaluations. Based on my conversations, I was informed that both the APPR plan for teachers and MPPR plan for administrators are followed according to the collective bargaining agreements. Also, based on my conversations with district staff, it does not appear that support staff are being evaluated. This makes it difficult to assess an employee's performance and to provide meaningful areas of growth and improvement. I recommend that HR develop a formalized process for ensuring that non-instructional employees are evaluated. Employee monitoring, employee attendance. This is another area that is very fragmented. WinCap is the absence management system utilized by the district. Employees can enter their time from time clocks or PCs. The problem is there are a number of stakeholders who engage in the management of employee absences, including secretaries and supervisors. There is no one person responsible for the oversight of absence management. This responsibility falls under human resources. process needs to be developed and followed consistently, and the HR director must work in collaboration with building leaders and district supervisors, regularly reviewing attendance data and addressing excessive use or questionable patterns. I reviewed a number of personnel files. I discovered you have two systems for personnel files. One is a paper system and one is an electronic system. The electronic system was started in 2023, but all of the personnel files have not been scanned into the electronic system, so you're utilizing both paper and electronic. I sampled 30 personnel files, and I determined that some of the hiring documentation was not present. There was not always identification for the I-9s. Transcripts weren't always present, licenses and evaluations. I do recommend that all personnel files are scanned into school front to provide an efficient, streamlined filing system that will provide easy access for the benefit of all. Also, a comprehensive onboarding checklist should be developed to ensure all required documents are received before a new employee starts work. Change order process. This is communication between HR and payroll to ensure that any change in an employee's hours, salary is communicated effectively. All pay actions that are not related to overtime are authorized in the form of a approved board resolution. We typically communicate this by the way of the personnel consent agenda. There have been instances where at a board meeting, a name was pulled, a revision was made, and the communication didn't get to the payroll office. I would recommend that after the board meeting on the personnel consent agenda, the board clerk initial the final copy, give a copy to the HR director, and give a copy to the payroll clerk to ensure that no errors are made. The Family Medical Leave Act provides qualified employees with up to 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave per year. The responsibility was in the superintendent's office, but it has shifted back to HR where it should be. The director of HR must develop a consistent process in alignment with the U.S. Department of Labor regulations, and all employees must be fully informed of their rights when requesting FMLA. Employee relations and conflict resolution. At the present time, employee relations and conflict issues are handled at the building level unless it rises to a certain level, which then it goes to the superintendent. This can create a problem for employees who may want to report issues with their immediate supervisors, and also sometimes supervisors need assistance with a dispute. The HR director should be the point person for employee disputes. She will be the resource for administrators who need assistance with an employee issue. This provides a centralized location for confidential conversations. To summarize, your HR department is one of the most risk-prone areas of your school district. Your department is currently very fragmented, with HR responsibilities spread amongst numerous departments and individuals. Without one expert overseeing these responsibilities, you increase your liability for lawsuits such as discrimination, sexual harassment, gender and sexual orientation, FMLA violations, wage and hour claims, workplace violence, and workplace safety. The school district's human resource department also needs to provide quality service that not only protects the district from liability, but also will attract, develop, motivate, and retain diverse personnel within a supportive educational environment. But it should be seen as the face of the district and a resource for all employees. Any questions?
I think it's implied in your presentation, but your review was conducted before Ms. Brooks started?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess we have a roadmap. We're planning on implementing all the changes and executing them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The system, that's the purpose of the needs assessment, to put in consistent, fair, and equitable systems in the Human Resources Department. Sorry about that. Would you like us to repeat what we just said? Okay.
Yes, it was that we have a roadmap to implement the changes that were just presented.
And so I responded yes, and that was the purpose of the needs assessment being done in the HR department so that we can create fair and equitable services and just to streamline and create systems throughout the HR department.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Old business.
So yeah, this is the third reading of the graduation ceremonies policy, which I know Dr. Pressey worked with Mr. Reardon on to reflect how they usually approach speakers. Does anybody have any questions, comments? No? Cool. Let's do it. Make a motion to approve amended policy 4772, graduation ceremonies.
Second.
All in favor? Great.
Okay, thank you. There's no need for executive. Let's see. I would like to make a motion to accept the personnel agendas, items A through N.
Second?
All in favor? Public forum.
Tracy, did anybody sign up for public forum? Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to convene into the public comment period of our meeting. Although state law does not require us to hold a public comment period, we have chosen to do so because we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, please do not expect the board to respond to your concerns and questions tonight. It's because we take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. However, we'll respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or have the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. Also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel. Please know that we take these concerns very seriously, and on these matters, we ask you to go through the proper administrative channels. Each speaker has 3 minutes.
So we have Louis Stefano.
Hi. This microphone come off?
I'm not sure. There you go.
Hey, look at that. Can everybody hear me up there?
Yeah.
Excellent. Been on stage for years, so hopefully I know how to use a microphone. I'd like to say hello and thank you to the board for your time tonight. This is my first time entering one of these public meetings. This is one my first time speaking publicly. Well, because it's my first meeting, it is. I didn't expect to come on so early, and though I would like to count my chickens before they hatch. I've been applied since May, and I've been subbing since November, desperately trying to get into a TA appointed spot, and I believe I heard that tonight I may be appointed by the board. Again, I thought that would have come up first before I got up here. But if I am board members, I thank you, and I thank you for recognizing me. The reason I came and I decided to come up today is because, I'm going to go back in time a little bit. In Rome, they had something where they said, education is the pursuit of the good, the beautiful, and the true. In my short time in Hudson, about a year, I find plenty of the good, and I find plenty of the true. But one thing I feel we are lacking in is the beautiful. Education for my students sometimes feels like a grind to stone. It's math, it's social studies, it's English, and while it is satiating to the empirical mind, It is not nurturing to the creative. Believe me, we have our classes, we have art, we have music, we have agriculture, and these are great. But the students are crying for more. I'd like to try to plant a seed tonight. I'd like to try to plant a seed in getting this idea moving forward of what our children need in addition to their math, their English, their social studies, and their health classes is enrichment through real-world classes. I cannot tell you how many times in a week, as my current capacity as a sub, I get asked by a student, Mr. D, as they call me, could you please sew my shirt? My parents don't have time. Can you help me fix my backpack? Can you help me fix my RC car? Can you help me fix this shelf? How do I do this, Mr. D? How? In King Lear, Shakespeare said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I tell you, with the weight of the entire junior high on my head, looking for these needs, my head is heavy. So I'd like to share this crown with the Board of Ed. And I'd like to say, please, help me together with this burden. Help these kids not only learn the things they need to, but very so crucially, the things they want to. Because an engaged student who can sew his own socks together, who can go home and say, I can put my shelf back together, is a student pursuing the beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Laura Bender.
Mr. D made it very tough act to follow. Good evening, everybody. My name is Laura Bender. I'm a social studies teacher at Hudson High School, and I have been for the past 12 years. I'm here tonight to urgently address concerns about the rollout of multiple new district initiatives from a high school perspective. First, before I start, I want to be very clear. We as teachers support efforts to enhance our students' success each and every day. Hudson has a very proud history of successful collaborative initiatives between our faculty and our administration. However, the recent rollout of initiatives feels rushed, lacking clear communication, and meaningful faculty input or partnership. I would like to use the Achieve 3000 initiative as a case study for my claim. For those who are unfamiliar, Achieve 3000 is an online program focused on measuring student reading levels and providing non-fiction-based text to students to level up their reading. While this goal of improving student reading levels is commendable and needed, this initiative operates under a false assumption that Hudson teachers don't understand our students' needs, don't use data effectively, and don't differentiate our instruction to meet the needs of students where they are. In fact, we've used SRI, our Scholastic Reading Inventory, to gauge student reading levels and adapt our teaching for years. Had we been consulted, we could have shared our success with programs like Newsy LA and Common Lit. When asked. The elimination of the SRI before last school year has left us without crucial literacy data, and our numerous calls for its return last year went unheard. Achieve 3000 provides us with this initial data, but it doesn't align with our curriculum, making integration of the program difficult. Moreover, the training we received on the platform of 40 minutes in the middle of a regular school day during the crucial first weeks of school was insufficient, and many of us were left scrambling to prepare. We're also concerned about the data collection. Many seniors, 75% of my current seniors now in fact, are in college English courses or integrated ELA programs through VOTEC, meaning they may not participate in the Achieve 3000 fully, skewing our literacy data. Additionally, we've lost numerous dedicated teachers in the past 2 years. I need to emphasize how much of an anomaly this is for Hudson. We don't see turnover rates that many large city schools typically have, which helps us foster a community-centered, collaborative feel for our school. The teachers that we have lost were veterans who built vital relationships with our students. They ran clubs, they were class advisors, who dedicated 4 years to helping our graduating cohorts of students plan milestone events. They were teachers who kept safe spaces for students during lunches and free periods, running reviews and getting students caught up where they needed to be. Teachers who took personal days to celebrate Eid with their students in their homes. Their departure is misattributed to accountability. They were essential in creating and fostering a community. Their loss impacts our students deeply. If we continue with poorly coordinated initiatives, we risk further destabilizing our classrooms and our school. Our students deserve continuity with teachers who understand and support them. Good education is truly a partnership, one that our teachers are eager to take on when properly supported. I urge everyone involved to prioritize thoughtful planning and collaboration with us going forward to build on our successes and ensure that all of our students can thrive in our school. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Lucia Berlin?
Hello.
I'm trying to be a constant member of the meetings. I have volunteered in different capacities at the school. But the last meeting that we had, when all of the charts were up on the breakdown of students, how well they were doing, I took that very much to heart. And I thought that reminded me of divide and conquer. I thought when a student enters the school, they enter as a student. And in the volunteering that I did, that was what I saw. I saw all kinds of students together, talking, joking. I just wanted to make that comment. I know you had to do it for the state, and when the state has to do it for the Department of Education. But I believe each school is its unique set of students and problems, and those go beyond percentages. That was my first thing I wanted to say. My second is that, when we come up here as a parent, as a citizen, don't you think that at some time that topic should be brought up and say, this is what, we discussed? I think we feel in the dark. I remember the fellow that was the head of the basketball. He came and said about a trip he wanted to make to Basketball Hall of Fame and get the buses and the school to support the hotel trip and the food. I thought that was such a great idea to lift a student up. But we never heard anything about that after that time. The same thing like 2 weeks ago, the lady who made the presentation about the drama club. A grant was put in, but it was sitting on someone's desk. You shouldn't really have us. Nothing is going to be addressed at some point. And my last point, I'll make that quick. I don't know your name, but you're wearing a blue.
Dr. Pressey.
Dr.
Pressey. So you were talking about the Saturday events, in the box.
The Saturday STEM program, yes.
So, and I think you had mentioned that those were going to be a virtual programs, right?
Virtual teachers, and we will also have teachers circulating the room also, yes.
So, I believe the first one had to do with farming. I'll be quick. This area of the Hudson Valley, this is a very unique area. From the moment we put that seed into the ground, that seed is going to be served on a plate to someone in a restaurant. And I thought there were so many farmers in this area that would love to share their time, their knowledge, and that we didn't need this concept because it's already here. Like when I sat next to this fellow, I said, God must have put me next to him, because I was saying too, You know, a child needs to know how to put a bucket on, needs to know how to fix his backpack, needs to know how to build a simple shelf. That is better than a high mark. It makes them feel like a full, developed person. And, you know, we need to bring back home economics. You know, you learned math. You learned so many things when you were measuring to make a cake. You were measuring to make the measurement on a shelf. I think we need to reconsider a lot of things that we're doing, because I think students would do much better if they get to use their hands. And I don't mean fighting. I mean productive work.
Thank you, Ms. And the basketball team did receive approval for their trip. It was on one of our agendas. And I believe the theater program got their letter of support for their grant. Thank you for your comments.
Malachi Walker.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Malachi Walker. I'm back again simply because I see the urgent need for us to be proactive and not get caught in the quicksand of life, so to speak. Our babies are in trouble, and they need us like never before as a collaborative unit. It can no longer be us against them or them against us. It has to be all of us against the failure of our kids' future. So to the individual on social media, just put this out there, passing around that uncalled for petition to have our superintendent removed, speak now or forever hold your peace. Because from this time forth, we're moving in that direction that Dr. Pressey put in display, being proactive in that last meeting. No more personal insults, no more finger pointing. This is a new day. How can we contribute to helping our kids do better? I want us all to look within ourselves. Are we giving our children a full chance to prosper? Am I set in my ways, but can I be honestly willing to make the necessary adjustments within myself for our kids to grow? Am I approachable? Can I approach somebody? Can I humble myself for the sake of making the future of our school district successful? We get enough outside criticism and disrespect. We can't sabotage ourselves. They are waiting for our complete downfall. Our kids are listening. Our kids are watching. So it is imperative that we be the example they need. We're concerned parents, we're concerned teachers, we're concerned administration, we're a concerned community. A genuine love has to become the foundation, but not just for the kids. We have to start with a genuine love for each other and let our kids acknowledge our relationships, our growth toward each other for their purpose. And if we don't have it, let's be bold enough to work on it. We always tell the kids that, right? Be bold enough to work on it, but be bold enough to step out and to do things. Our kids need us. We're on the front line. We're it. We're all they got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Tracy, was that it?
Sheila Graham.
Hi, board. People in the audience. I'm here today as a parent and a former student of Hudson City School District. And similar to Mr. Malachi, I heard about and saw a very petty petition on Facebook about our superintendent, and even disparaging remarks about our administration in general. And I just want to say that every person here I have to let Mr. DeStefano take the mic off. Every person here is credentialed, is certified, is capable to be sitting in these seats that are paid by the Hudson City School District. The only people that are not paid are the school board members. They come out of their personal time. The kids aren't well. It's not something that we can hide anymore. You've seen the graphs, the bars. You even hear the kids talk about it. They know that some parents don't like the school. They know that some kids don't like the school. They know that sometimes they don't even like the school, but they have to come. New York State says they have to come. Unless you're willing to homeschool your children, they have to come. So they're in here with Mexican, Bangladesh, Jamaican, Haitian, white, Italian, all sorts of people melting together. They don't have a choice. They have to be here. So they're here. They're learning. People are trying to teach them. People are trying to put forth the most current and most valued things that they can for them to learn. I think this board is doing that. I think the administrators are doing that. I think the secretaries are trying. I think the teachers are trying. The aides, the TAs, the subs, the nurses, the janitors, everybody is trying. But who is not trying is the petty, misguided people who feel it's better to just disparage people who show up every day. I'm not one of those people, but I have gone into the muck to try to shed light. And it's actually futile. I won't do it anymore. But what I will do is I will come here and I will say, without a doubt, that I know that these people are here for the kids. I know that they're not just here for a paycheck. Columbia County teachers are the highest paid teachers in Columbia County, the Hudson City School District teachers are. But we have the lowest test scores. So, what is the problem? I don't know. It can't be the kids, right? It's not always the fighting. That's not all they do. My son brought home a pinch, the thing for the clothesline. What is it called again? Clothespin. He made a clothespin out of wood. Shout out to Mr. Palmieri. It wasn't a shelf. He didn't don socks, but he made a clothespin. And I added it to all the other clothespins that all my other kids brought home before him. And he's number 6 of 7. So I know that the teachers are teaching our kids when they can. But we do need to do better. Like Mr. Malachi said, we need to stop with the pettiness, stop with the... If I was a person that didn't live in Hudson and I was looking at the Facebook page for this area, I would never live here. Because all I'm thinking is everybody here is either been bullied, got an axe to grind, doesn't have anything better to do with their time, and just doesn't know how to tear people down. That is low vibration work. Try building people up. That is the work. That is what these people are doing here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we have our superintendent's report.
Good evening to our Dream Team Board. This is Board Appreciation Month. So we have our board and we really appreciate you, and I'll say something else once I get through with the presentation. So I'm going, because I listen, because I hear, and I understand my purpose for being here, and that I want to make sure that I'm serving all constituents to the best of my abilities. So I was hearing that we needed to do something different, or something more, to make teachers feel more appreciated, to make staff feel more appreciated. So I came up with Superintendent Spotlight on Excellence. So this will show appreciation for the district staff and faculty, and it'll be the Superintendent Spotlight on Excellence Awards. I created this. So over the course of the next school years, as I walk through the school, the conference room, etc., I will use this award to recognize those in the district who both excel in their duties and are dedicated to fostering an excellent school environment. So how will this work? I'll walk around to the classroom, throughout the building, and if I see spotlights that are showing excellence, I will award this certificate. And then I will come to the board meeting, and during my superintendent's report, I will announce everyone who has received the spotlights on excellence. And so this is one way that I am listening and showing that I'm willing and know that we can do this together. And so this is just one way that we will begin to do this. So, as I said earlier, this is School Board Recognition Week. The New York State School Board Association recognizes October 14th through 18th this year as School Board Recognition Week. Our school board members devote their time, unpaid time, to representing the voices in the Hudson community and positively contributing to our students' quality of education. Thank you to our Hudson School District Board of Education. Thank you, Ms. Willette Jones. Thank you to Mr. Mark DePace. Thank you to Ms. Gustavson. Thank you, Ms. Grubler. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Thank you, Mr. Macker. And then our students representative, Thomas Urbinsky, and our board clerk, Tracy Gaffney. Just want to thank everyone. And again, we have a token of appreciation. It's a little dream team box because you are our dream team. And thank you for helping me to make sure that the dreams of our students come through. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right here for the next round of comments.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Next on my superintendent's report is just a brief summary about the flying classroom, the STEM workshops that will be happening on Saturday for our students, the STEM pilot program. This is for junior and senior high students. So as you can see, the program will begin on the 26th, and it'll last through June. There will be 180-minute modules in 16 sessions, I believe. And so there's lots that have gone out about it to families, and we're really hoping to get a large 56 students will be in the pilot. And we're hoping to get a great turnout from our students. We're really hoping that our junior and senior high students will sign up. This is great. That's the real world life experience learning that you just mentioned. This will happen there. And so it's a great opportunity. And this is a pilot year. So we're hoping that if it goes really well, we'll be able to extend it for more students on Saturdays next year. Harvest Month, October is Harvest Month. As you can see, there were apples, and our beautiful students are just having a great time with the healthy eating. And on Wednesday, October 16th, there was a variety of apples sourced from Sam Scott Orchard and Yonder Fruit Farm that our students were able to consume. And then the students in Ms. Schmidt's high school food and nutrition class, they honored Harvest of the Month by taste testing 5 different varieties of New York apples. And then they also learned which ones were best for baking, snacking, sandwiches, salads, and applesauce. And they also made apple pie croissants. Also, one thing that wasn't on there is that we are thankful for the partnership with the New York NYU Dental School. So they have been coming to Hudson, I believe, since before the pandemic, and then we missed a year or two after the pandemic. So when I came, they would only go to the elementary school, so I said to Mr. Brennan, how can we expand this to the junior and senior high school? So we were able to do that this year. There were a few students from the junior high school, I believe, that were able to get the dental services. You know, this is what it's about. If, you know, we'll have to bring the community to the schools, and it's a great partnership, and we're just really happy to be a part of that with the NYU Dental Clinic. So thanks to Mr. Brenneman and his staff for just putting everything together for that. And it's my superintendent report for tonight.
Thank you. Okay, consensus agenda. Everybody good? I would like to make a motion to approve consensus agenda items A through L.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, public forum.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Janice Beckles. I used to sub here. I miss it very much. But there was a incident that happened that they had to let me go. Don't know which one it was or whatever. But I'm going to piggyback on what the gentleman said and much. These children, the ABCs, they're 1, 2, 3s. They know how to put a box together. They need to get out of that box and learn different things in a different manner. Now, when I was here subbing, they were growing, grow. For me, they wouldn't grow me. But if you teach them what you will expect from them, they will give it to you. And he was talking about the reading scores and whatnot. When I was doing detention, I would just read. Read anything you want to read. We're not judging anybody. Everybody's going to read what they want to read. And they enjoyed it because it was something that they bought to read or something they found on their phone they read. It's to get them to engage in their learning, not just throwing it at them. Because I felt that they were learning. And like the kids that were graduating, some of them didn't know where they were going to do or what they were going to do. I was giving them out applications. I came to the principal to give them, but I never got to see them. I was on the street giving them out. College isn't for everybody. But we need some trade schools here. So when they do graduate from here, they could get in a detail like plumbing, electronics, contracting, so that they won't feel like they're going to spend the next, maybe 20 years in their parents' basement. They feel like they can engage and do something. What's up here? What do you want to do? We always tell them you can do whatever you want to do. Sometimes they don't know what they want to do. So we have to filter out what they want to do and ask them to stick to it. They might like it, but let them know that they can do it. And if that's not what they like, they can go somewhere else. Like the fire department. I was trying to get the kids, go to the fire department. Now what I'm going to say is not to take the people out of Hudson, because I love Hudson, but learn the skill, because it's a voluntary thing. Work there 1 or 2 years. You can take it and go other places with it. The same with the post office and the plumbing. I've even asked people that I see that's doing these things, would y'all give a class? Would y'all teach these kids out here how to do it, what to do it? They might walk by and see it doing. I would like to do that, but they don't know how to approach it. There's a building over there that's been empty for a few years. I think that would be the perfect place for it. But again, I spoke with some human resources people that I would like to get back into Hudson School. Subsea, monitoring the halls, whatever. Thank y'all very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Everyone get home safe.
Last one, right?
I just signed up.
Okay, Coach.
So I think earlier I didn't say what I wanted to say as well as I wanted to say it. I'd kind of like to draw back to the data presentation that was at last meeting. And I feel as though the students, the high school students that I know, who I'm classifying as high achieving, feel as though there is a disconnect between where our school is focusing and where they might be projecting that they're focusing. At the data presentation, we saw numbers for AP classes, and they are definitely not the highest. It's important to note that those classes are optional, and those classes happen when a student takes the initiative to sign up for that class and put them in that harder class, which is kind of why I classify that group of students as high achieving. However, the disconnect comes when there's a lack of understanding or knowledge that comes from some of the people in administration and even some of the board members that we have, these amazing college classes for dual credit. There wasn't any sort of presentation on that. There was also, a disconnect when it came to the AP Calculus scores and there being only 2 students in it when we don't actually offer the course. So it definitely feels like there's a disconnect. And I feel like it feels like that were resources to be allocated, more towards these high achieving students, not leaving their AP classes in question, and making sure that they are one of the priorities of our district. Sends them a message that they have a chance. I talk to students around me, I talk to some of my friends, and frankly, they set the bar for themselves really low. That can come from test scores, that can come from seeing people from, high schools that are much more, proactive about putting these kids in highly selective places. But the higher achieving students can definitely feel left out. And I'd also like to point out that higher achieving doesn't necessarily mean just in core subjects. When it comes to creativity in our district, we do really well. Our music and our art are fantastic. Our drama has been consistent for a very long time. Sorry, I'll be quick. But there are specifics, with scheduling, and that's a bigger topic, but having creativity and having art and having expression be a core pillar or a core principle of our district is something I think we should really consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Evening. Just 2 things really quick. Number 1, a point of clarity. The Hudson teachers are not the highest paid teachers in the county. That would be Ichabod because they just settled and they are getting a lot of money. So we are not the highest paid. And we have to stop judging on test scores because it was pointed out in the last board meeting, only certain students take tests in through 8. Some students opt out, and some of the students that opt out are our top students, not the bottom ones. So you need to keep that in mind when you're judging us on test scores. And again, it is also important to remember that these kids are more than a test score, and the teachers in Hudson know that. And right now, we're moving in a direction where we want to do more testing, more progress monitoring, and it's just making the kids more visible. So you need to keep that in mind too. Thank you.
Important dates, November 5th, 2024, regular Board of Education meeting, 6 p.m. in the high school library. November 19th, 2024, Policy Committee meeting, 5 p.m. in the high school library. November 19th, 2024, regular Board of Education meeting, 6 p.m. in the high school library. At this time, we do have a need for a second executive session. That's it right there. We resolve the Board of Education enters into executive session at 7:01 for the purpose of reviewing the employment history of particular persons or persons. There will be no further business after this. Thank you.
Second,
Oh,
all in favor?
okay. All right.
All right, thank you all for being here.